Om Namaste. Welcome, everyone. Today, I want to talk to you about the attitude of gratitude. When I first picked up the book The Secret, I think it was in the mid 2000s, they talked about gratitude and how this one guy was explaining how he would keep a rock that he found, a pretty shiny, smooth rock that he found, and every time he would touch it in his pocket, he would think of something to be grateful for. And back then I wasn't really as focused in bettering myself and finding my highest potential. So I remember kind of judging it, thinking to myself, this is just a bunch of BS. It sounds nice, but how powerful can gratitude really be? You're just saying words. It took me to get to a point in my life where everything felt like it was falling apart, and I really needed a lifeline. I really needed something to continue to pick me up every day. That I said to myself, you know what? At this point, I'll try anything to feel better, to get my mind right, to make it through the day. Because I didn't want to get depressed. I didn't want to get to a point in my life where it felt like, what's the use? So I started writing in a journal every morning, writing about things I was grateful for. First, it was just general. Then I started to really target people that I was having a hard time with, whether it was family or friends or bosses or whatever the case may be, situations, even addictions. And I would take the time to really contemplate and find a way to be grateful for those things and write them down. And then I would go back and reread them. And what I noticed was my perspective started to change on the things that used to bother me. They weren't bothering me as much. They would still bother me, but it wasn't like taking a hold on me whenever they would come up in my mind. And I was finding other thoughts starting to flood in. Thoughts of peace, thoughts of resolve about those situations. And even when I was in the midst of an argument with a loved one, or being ridiculed by someone maybe at work, it wasn't sucker punching me like it used to. It was almost like I was creating a foundation that couldn't be rocked. Sorry about the back noise. I'm driving as I talk. Hands free, of course. I'm trying to be safe. It's the only time I have to speak to you, so I take full advantage of this time. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Gratitude, I'm seeing now, is a superpower. We have the ability to curse or to bless ourselves with what we speak, what we do, how we do it, our intentions. These all have to do with gratitude. Because if you're grateful, your intentions for the things you do day in and day out become different than if you're somebody that's always pessimistic, always complaining. You might still be doing the same things from the outside. People might look at you and say, I don't see any change in this person. They're still going to work. They're still doing whatever they're doing. But on the inside, you will start to feel the difference. And over time, people will see a difference because you will carry yourself differently. You will make better choices. It's almost like we have a fuel tank within us where we collect energy. And every time we stay in alignment with love, with gratefulness, with surrendering to the moment and letting the moment lead us instead of controlling, being fearful that things are happening a certain way, we see things different. We perceive the world through the eyes of Source when we learn to love and be grateful, instead of seeing the world through deception, where we are fearful and we doubt and we blame. And it gets interesting because the more you harness this energy of gratitude, it's almost like the stakes get higher, and life will bestow upon you more responsibility to stay grateful. A lot of people might see this as a curse, how the more you lead with your heart, the harder things seem to get. But if you really contemplate this, it's actually the opposite. The more you lead with your heart, the more the circumstances get harder, but also the higher the payoff is when you choose to stay grateful. The easier not only is it for you to see the shift in your life, but also others. And then this is going into the law of attraction. You start to attract things into your life that are blessings. Your days become filled with blessings. You just become a magnet for blessings. You become a magnet for things always just falling into place for you, as opposed to when you have one of those days where everything falls apart and everything is going wrong and everything you touch blows up. I'm not saying you're never not going to have those days, because I still have those days. And I'm not perfect. I'm still going through this as much as anyone. But I do feel a sense of gratitude and a sense of appreciation more and more every day. For little things that I used to never even appreciate, because I was so in my head trying to change things and make things different. I wouldn't take the time to just look up and enjoy nature and look at the trees and contemplate how this world is here for us to live in, and how beautiful it is, how divinely harmonious everything is when we step out of our mind and we just look around. How everything harmoniously works together, yet can also be chaotic at times. And to me, this is the biggest thing to be grateful for, to be able to witness what we are witnessing in every moment. If we can rest in gratefulness and appreciation of the moment, of the now, then what else do we need other than to rest in our gratitude for eternity? And to me, I feel like this is what a lot of the teachers were teaching, the ancient scriptures were pointing to. All the ascended masters that are out now, and even the ones from before, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, the Dalai Lama, they're all pointing to this sweet spot in life where we can live from a place of eternal gratitude, eternal love. Unconditional love is basically no longer seeing the shades of gray in the world, just dropping it all and enjoying it for what it is. And to me, that is why we're here. We're here to transcend all suffering and reach that place within us where nothing can trip us up anymore. We'll enter any challenge knowing that it's going to lead us to more things to be grateful for. So then there's really no sense in getting upset. And we'll even start dealing with those challenges from a higher understanding, because when we are stressed, when we are fearful, see it in your own life. It's like something changes within you. Your thinking changes, your actions change, your tone changes. It's almost like you become possessed by your anger and you go into a rage, and the level of consciousness that you have access to when you're in love or when you're in peace get cut off. And this can be a big problem, because you start thinking that hurting others and blaming others and even killing others is a good idea, because you've lost that connection to your Christhood, your nirvana. You're no longer in the kingdom of heaven. You're living in hell. So that's something to think about. Much love to you all, and till next time. Peace.